Are there things that you want to talk about, like, that you want to address that you sort of haven't already?
In respect to what?
I don't know, life.
Well, so there's an awful lot that I have to say about life. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. There's only so many mistakes you can make in life, and so if you make them all while you're young, you're better off. You've got more time to recover. You're not afraid to take chances. They always say you don't regret the things you did, that you regret the things you didn't do. That if you don't take chances and you let a situation or an opportunity go by, then you regret that. So you don't want to do that. So when I was a child, I was an only child. So what happens is when you're an only child is that you're not really used to sibling rivalry. So when I went to college, that was something I had to get used to. That helped give me a real social background that I didn't have as a child. Making sure that things are in order. Now, they don't have to be perfect because, perfection gets in the way of progress. Think about and do some planning. Other things fall into place. If you think about everything I do is ultimately about problem solving, you have to think about the resources that you have to solve those problems. And sometimes you don't have a lot of resources, so you have to be creative. Sometimes I'll look at myself and I'll think, well, I'm not doing anything on that yet. And the reason I'm not doing anything is, and it may look like I'm not doing anything, but in my head, I'm thinking about, okay, how do I want to approach it? What are the tools I'm going to need? Who do I need to involve in this? And so I begin that thought process and then organize myself around that and then attack whatever it is that I'm working on. The most important thing that you could be is agile and be able to change. Being able to change and being agile is much more important than just being always consistent. And so it was that point in time where I said, I really have to think about how do I be consistent with how I approach change. Being present in the moment. I think most people are thinking about what they're going to do next, are thinking about what conversation they're going to have or who they're going to talk to, as opposed to listening and seeing what's happening. I know lots of times you'll be really excited and you'll go and do something, and because you're so excited, you miss all of the things that are going on and happening. If you're present in the moment, you can understand that moment, and that moment could offer you some peace and contentment that you might not have found if you weren't trying to really be present. And I'm sure you feel this way, and I know I felt this way when I was your age, that everything seems so intense and important and it's got to be done right that second. The reality is very few things are like that, and you really do have the opportunity to take a step back and think through it and not agonize as much about them. Just remember two things. Before you think and before you act, think of two things. How will this make the person I'm with feel? And how will it make me feel? And if the answer is good on both of those fronts, then it's okay for me to do it and it's okay for me to say it. But if the answer is no, somebody's going to get hurt on this, then really step back and think about, why am I doing this or why am I saying this? I'm a little disappointed with where the world is right now. I think that a lot of people have forgotten to be kind. There is this thing where, many people in companies refer to themselves as nice. So that's code for me, which means I will never say anything bad to your face, and I'll never give you really good constructive feedback. Whereas being kind, you're willing to say to somebody, here is something you could have done differently. So I think that it's more important to be kind. And when you're kind, you listen, you try to give of yourself, you try to be present in the moment. So all of those things kind of come together for me in just that one simple statement. I always felt that that was the best piece of advice I could give anybody.